I'm thinking, and I'm having brand new thoughts about the dangers for men when dealing with women romantically. Basically, a man having a romantic relationship with a woman needs to be aware that he is taking a risk, that it is not a safe situation. And the important thing is for men to be aware of this. I don't know what the odds are of the man coming to harm in his life when dealing with the woman romantically. I don't know how to think about odds, but the reality is there is a risk. I don't know how to quantify the risk, but there is a risk. And the important thing is for men to be aware of this risk and to not do what most men do and have a relationship thinking that he is in control and he is happy and things are good and there's nothing to worry about. That's not correct. Men need to understand the situation they're in and decide if they're happy to take those risks or I'm trying to think of a best way of describing this, and as I said, this is brand new thinking, and I can't be sure that it's valid yet because it has just occurred to me right now, pretty much. So, what I'm thinking right now is comparing women for a man. I'm currently comparing women to narcotic drugs like cocaine, let's say. So women affect a man in a positive way and make the man happy and life seems very good and positive and the man is having fun. And nature wants it this way. Nature wants a man to be with a woman. He wants a man to have sex with the woman and have children and form a family. So nature has a plan and the man needs to do as he's told as far as nature is concerned. A man needs to take control of his own life, I would say. A man needs to understand what's happening and decide how he wants to live. I'm seeing women for a man like narcotic drugs. So women are like cocaine as far as a man is concerned if he is involved with her in a romantic way. So as I said, cocaine has what seems to be a positive effect when used by the man. Life seems good and he's enjoying himself and he's happy using cocaine or being with the woman. I'm seeing it as the same type of thing for now. But cocaine has side effects that will affect the man negatively. So cocaine costs a lot of money and cocaine is harmful to the man and it makes the man behave in a way that's not healthy for the man. And again, it's important that a man realizes this, understands the situation he's in. So I am seeing women as being equivalent to cocaine in the way they affect the man in what seems to be a positive, happy way. but it does come with consequences. And one of the consequences is addiction, and another consequence is expense. It costs money. It costs money to be with the woman. And being with the woman is addictive. And so a man is losing control of his life to some extent when he's with a woman. And he is spending lots of money as well. So the important thing is for a man to realize this. A man is not in control of his life when he is involved with a woman romantic. He is vulnerable to whatever the woman decides she wants to do to him. If the woman wants to turn against the man and harm the man, then she can do so. So in a similar way to cocaine is harmful for the man to take. It provides the benefit and joyous feelings, and the man likes taking cocaine, but it is harmful to him and is addictive. And I do think it is valid to say that it is similar to the effect that that a woman has on a man. So I said a man has to decide if he wants to take this risk, if he wants to be in this situation. I suspect that most men would not want to be in this situation. But there is the issue of the attractiveness of women. So nature has set the rules of the game such that a man will be attracted to a good looking woman and he will want to have sex with her. The risks to the man are ignored pretty much because the man is overwhelmed by his attraction to a woman. In a sense, a man doesn't have control of his life. A man is, what's the word? A man is like a drug addict to his chosen drug. A drug addict doesn't have control of his life anymore. A drug addict needs his chosen drug and basically can't function without taking this drug. A man becomes addicted to a woman and becomes dependent on her in the same way as a drug addict is dependent on his drug. So I do think currently that it is valid to compare women to cocaine as far as a man is concerned. Cocaine seems to be great and enjoyable, but it has negative consequences. Cocaine is harmful physically and expensive. But the man doesn't care about that because it feels so good. So as I say, a man treats a woman the way a drug addict treats cocaine. A man doesn't have control of himself so much when in a romantic relationship with the woman. It's important for men to understand the situation he is in when he's with a woman romantically. A man doesn't have control of his life. A man is addicted to the woman. It is a very unfortunate situation for a man. However, it does seem to be the way of the world that if a man wants to live happily, then he has to accept being addicted to a woman and living the life essentially of a drug addict, not having control of his life, not having control of his money and his assets. And as I said, a man has to decide if he wants to live this way. I suspect that most men would not want to live this way. But the pleasure of sex, the pleasure of romance is extreme in the same way as the pleasure of taking cocaine is extreme. It's very hard for a drug addict to reject cocaine, let's say. And it's very hard for a man to reject romance, the woman. To put it bluntly, I suppose, it is unnatural for a man to protect himself, defend himself, and turn away from romance with the woman. It is unnatural in the sense that it is going against what nature wants him to do. And nature doesn't care about the man's experience, doesn't care about the man's welfare. Nature only cares about producing more children. And whatever negative consequences for the man occur, nature doesn't care about. So it's up to the man to care about himself, because nature doesn't care about him. Nature only cares about children, which means that nature only cares about the woman. The man is essentially expendable. It is up to the man to protect himself, because nature doesn't care about him. The woman doesn't care about him. The woman only cares about herself, about her children. So the man has to take care of himself. And the first step is for the man to realize the position he's in. He needs to understand that being in a romantic relationship with the woman is a risk, and the consequences can be severe. Most men are unaware of this reality. And men fall foul of the dangers that exist. I'm thinking of my own situation and what being in a romantic relationship has cost me. I have 2 children who I no longer see. I don't know if I'll ever be allowed to have a relationship with my children. I used to own a house and a flat, and I own neither now. So I'm essentially homeless. I'm living on the state. I used to have a fair amount of money in my bank. I don't know for sure, but I believe I don't have money anymore. Life is a challenge right now. And the reason for my life being a challenge is that I chose to have a romantic relationship with a woman. And I fell foul of the risks of that situation. So I'm thinking what my advice to men out there will be, and what it is awareness, I suppose, is the main thing I want to communicate. A man needs to understand his situation. A man needs to see the lay of the land and understand the risks. I think too often a man is surprised by what happens negatively because a man did not understand his situation. As I say myself, I've decided to not have romance with women anymore. As they say, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. That was the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Sorry, it came out wrong. I regard the risks of being in a romantic relationship with a woman as being too great. I'm not prepared to take those risks. In the same way, I regard the dangers of being addicted to cocaine and the cost of cocaine. I regard those as being too negative to ever try cocaine. I won't go that way. I suspect that most men who ever try cocaine would never appreciate the position he's in by doing so. He won't appreciate how much it will cost. He won't appreciate the harm it will do to his body. He won't appreciate the addiction that will follow. I'm thinking that a man doesn't realize that the same issues affect a relationship with the woman. A man doesn't see a woman as being essentially equivalent to cocaine. And I think a man should see a woman as being the same as cocaine. That's my thinking for now. And I will think more and see how it goes.